Well, folks, we have a Nintendo Direct happening this week. It's pretty exciting and even something that, though expected because it was previously teased to be coming, it also sets things up for what is likely to be another Direct not too far away. Hell, there could be two Directs not too far away, even as soon as next week for another one. Pretty weird, and we're going to dive into that. But first, just want to remind you, we do have a giveaway going on for 3 copies of Age of Imprisonment and 5 copies of Kirby Air Riders, which is actually what the Direct is this week. You can enter down in the link down in the pinned comment or the description. And let's go ahead and check this out because, look, this came across my feed originally from the official Kirby Air Riders account over on X, but just because some people are, for some reason, not convinced a Direct is real, if not on the official Nintendo account, we'll show that as well. But here we go. Kirby Air Riders, tune in on Thursday, October 23rd at 6 a.m. Pacific for a second Kirby Air Riders Direct. This presentation will feature about 60 minutes. That's right. If you thought the last 45-minute Kirby Air Rider Direct was insane, well, Masahiro Sakurai just said, hold my damn beer. So 60 minutes of information about the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 game and an appearance from Mr. Sakurai. I give you it here. That takes you out to the YouTube channel. And as I said, just to show that this is not just something from that account, which, yes, that is the official account. But, you know, again, people like to see it from Nintendo. Nintendo of America has the post right here. Join us on October 23rd at 6 a.m. Pacific for the second one. It's the exact same information, just, you know, worded slightly different. And yeah, look, this is awesome. I'm really excited actually for this. They announced this at the last general Nintendo Direct saying a Kirby Air Riders Direct was coming, which felt weird because we already had a 45-minute Kirby Air Riders Direct. Now, for this next little bit, while I'm talking specifically about this new Kirby Air Riders Direct, I'm just going to play the original Kirby Air Riders Direct. So here's the thing, guys. I think it's quite interesting that we're getting 60 minutes, so an even longer presentation than last time, because a lot of people felt like we saw everything this game is going to be, right? We saw the individual races, and sure, they could announce more characters, they could announce more carts, they could announce more courses, but none of that's probably going to change people's opinions on if they want to buy Kirby Air Riders or not. However, it is just additional content that makes the whole package look more valuable. And yeah, you guys saw what the City Trials was, and City Trials was the most popular mode in the original Kirby Air Riders game. But I have something that I want to mention here. And yeah, there's probably going to be extra mini games and stuff like that we didn't know about, new courses that we didn't know about, new characters. All that's probably going to happen. There's going to be new of what we already know. But I think there's actually going to be quite a bit that we don't know about. And what am I talking about? How about new modes? This entire time that we talked about Kirby Air Riders, it's been in context to the original Kirby Air Ride, which had your race mode, and then it had your city trial. That was basically it. That was the game. And that's all that's been shown off so far. I'm willing to bet that Masahiro Sakurai having a full hour to present this game is going to be revealing brand new modes that we've never seen before. And that's really what's going to take Kirby Air Riders to that next level. Is as popular as City Trial might be and still might end up being the most popular mode, there's probably going to be other things going on with this game. At least I have to believe that, because if you think about it, and again, I don't know, this is a guess, but if you think about it, an hour and 45 minutes worth of dedicated Nintendo Direct time to this game feels like there has to be even more that we don't know, right? I'm hoping that the Kirby Air Riders, this second Direct, is sort of like the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct. If you remember DK Bonanza, some people were a little tepid on. They thought it was cool and all that, and the people went hands-on with it. We're like, hey, this is fun, but will this get boring and repetitive over the course of a full game? And it turns out there was just a lot of things we didn't know about. We didn't know about all the different Bonanza forms and all this stuff. So it turns out that there was just a lot that they were holding back. And when you have that full context of all that content, suddenly Donkey Kong Bonanza sounded like one of the most hyped games of the year. And that could be the case here with Kirby Air Riders. It could be that there is just so much they are holding back and not telling us, because that first Direct was mostly Sakurai just trying to introduce what Kirby Air Riders is fundamentally, because again, this game's only existed one other time, called Kirby Air Ride back on the GameCube. That was a long time ago on one of the systems that sold the least for Nintendo. So it's entirely possible that they viewed that entire first direct as, hey, we need to reintroduce what Kirby Air Riders is fundamentally. Like, it's a racer, but it's not your typical racer, but it's not just a racer. And so I feel like that was kind of what that 45-minute direct was about, was, hey, let's just go step by step and introduce to everyone what this game is on a fundamental level. Then this next direct is, bam, let's hit you with the surprises. Let's hit you with all the good stuff. Let's hit you with the things that are going to make you go, oh, Nikes, that's why this is the holiday game. Because, again, this direct kind of has to prove why Nintendo slotted Kirby Air Riders as the big holiday game. Now, we all know Legends EA probably is going to sell more, and October is a big slot for Nintendo as well. But usually October and November, they usually have two big games that are your holiday titles. And look, we have two games technically in November because we have Age of Imprisonment. But yeah, Kirby Air Riders is setting itself up to be that big holiday game. So they have a lot to show and a lot to prove, and I'm actually really excited to see what happens. Obviously, we will be live streaming this stuff right here at the channel. Now we're going to bring the camera back to me, because I also think this is exciting for a completely different reason. So last General Direct, they had already pre-announced this Kirby Direct was coming, and Sakurai acted like he was surprised on X and stuff. I don't know that he was actually surprised with this. I'm sure they ran it by him, and he's just playing along with it, because this Direct came together pretty quickly, and it needed to, because the game comes out like a month from now. However, I do think that it's important that this Direct happens now instead of waiting until November, because what this does is set up other directs that are likely going to happen this year. I still fully believe we're going to get a Metroid Prime 4 Beyond Direct, but we were never going to get that before this one. Why? Because this one was already announced, okay? And this game comes out before Metroid Prime 4. So it makes total sense to have this Direct come now, about a month from the game coming out. But I don't even think that Metroid Prime 4 is the only other Direct to look forward to, which, yeah, I do think a Metroid Prime 4 Direct will happen in November. I think we might actually get another Direct this month. Call me crazy. Maybe I'm being insane. Nintendo's been on this kick of doing like major directs for pretty much every exclusive game for Switch 2. Mario Kart World Direct, anyone? Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct, anyone? Think about how much time they've given to Dragon Drive. Now, hey, dedicated directs, multiple of them for Kirby Air Riders. What's the other Switch 2 exclusive game coming out this holiday? Right, Age of Imprisonment, that we're giving away 3 copies. The Legend of Zelda, baby. Yeah, I actually think next week they could do another game direct, and it would be for Age of Imprisonment that comes out a couple weeks after. I actually think this is the beginning of a 3-game direct slate coming in the next 3 to 4 weeks. I really think that's what Nintendo's game plan is here, because they seem to be slamming these dedicated game directs. And honestly, with how well Switch 2 is selling, I don't blame them, because this is the stuff that's convincing people to buy the new platform. Now, the Metroid Prime 4 Direct obviously is also a Switch 1 game, so I understand that, that's not a dedicated Switch 2 game. They always seem to have a game come out around the end of November, early December, and, well, not always, but they do it often enough that it's something that Nintendo does do, hoping it will sell well. So, will it? Well, I feel like we need a direct for it. Metroid Prime 4 feels like it's such a big game. If we don't get a dedicated direct, that'd be really weird. Imagine that we enter Metroid Prime 4's release in December, on December 4th, and we don't know anything more about the game than we know now beyond like a launch trailer. That would just be so weird, right? Like, there has to be a dedicated direct. So, yeah, I do think there's 3 directs coming. Well, we know 1 for sure, and I think this is just the beginning. This is the Nintendo getting the holiday season started, baby. And I'm very curious about this strategy. Like, assuming that Nintendo does that Age of Imprisonment and Metroid Prime 4 Direct, is Nintendo going to start doing these dedicated directs all the time? Like, are we going to get one next year for Mario Tennis Fever? For the new Yoshi game? For Dust Bloods, which Dust Bloods maybe does need a direct? I just find this all to be fascinating, that Nintendo's going with this route of giving us more directs than ever. More general directs, more partner showcase directs. Indie World's not quite as much as they've done in prior years, although there still could be one in December, but also more dedicated game directs than ever before. Nintendo's going all in on their marketing, and I gotta say, as a fan, I love this stuff. This is great. As a content creator, it's even greater because it gives us more and more to cover, even though it doesn't always fit our schedule. And two, I got to say that I appreciate what Nintendo's been doing lately with these dedicated game directs. They always give us a couple day warning, and I'm really happy that they're still sticking to that and not going 24 hours, which is what they do with general directs. We get 24-hour warning for general directs. We always get a couple day warning for game directs. So again, Kirby Air Riders Direct happening this Thursday. I'm going to be live streaming this thing. We'll probably be live about an hour-ish beforehand. Whether or not Thunderstash or anyone else is going to be there with me, I don't know. We clearly won't be able to talk about this much on our podcast coming up on Wednesday because, you know, our podcast is the day before, and I doubt we're going to do a dedicated Kirby Air Riders podcast the next day. Although, hey, we do sometimes do bonus episodes when directs happen, and if this direct is just blowing our minds collectively, you could see a potential bonus dedicated Kirby Air Riders podcast, but we'll see. Obviously, the direct hasn't happened, so we don't know. The only ones that we guarantee bonus shows for are general directs, but we will do it for like a dedicated game direct if our minds are blown and we just have a lot we need to talk about. So we'll see. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am Nathaniel Rumpeljans from Nintendo Prime, and I'll catch you in the next video, which will probably be later today. I don't feel like this will be my only video today. Bye, guys.